Okay, this video will show you how to lower your Medicare Part B premiums if you are paying more than the base Medicare premium because the income figures used to determine your Medicare premium have changed. Here's how that works. Medicare Part B premiums are based on your income, meaning those with higher incomes pay a higher Part B premium. Where things get complicated is in the fact that the income that the government uses to determine this figure is from your tax return 2 years prior. For example, your Medicare Part B premium in 2024 is based on your modified adjusted gross income from your 2022 tax return. Well, this becomes problematic for some because for many people, their income the year that they retire is the highest or closest to the highest income that they've earned in their entire life. And now you've retired, your income drops, but you're responsible to come up with a much higher monthly amount for your Medicare premium for the next 2 years until your lower retirement income numbers are reflected on the tax return lookup from 2 years back. So what is one to do? Well, the good news is that you can appeal your Medicare premiums based on qualifying life-changing events, and you do this by completing a form called the SSA 44 form. Let's go through the form and how to fill it out. But before we do, it's important that I point out that this is not a hack, this is not a trick, this is not some backdoor secret way that will help you avoid paying something that you're supposed to pay. So if you're thinking that you're going to pull a fast one on the government, good luck and proceed at your own risk. Okay, the form has 3 main pages for you to fill out. Here is the first page. I do want to bring to your attention the first paragraph here. You can schedule an appointment with your local Social Security office and go into the location to complete this and turn it into a Social Security employee. You can also fill this out and fax or mail it in, so you have options. Okay, you'll first need your name. I would recommend that you use your name as it appears on your Social Security card, and then your Social Security number comes next. You'll see the income ranges here and the additional amount someone would need to pay on top of their regular Part B premiums based on their modified adjusted gross income. Okay, page 2 is where you would check what the life-changing event was that reduced your income lower than it was 2 years ago when they did that 2-year look back. You only need to pick one box. Picking multiple boxes isn't going to improve your odds, so just pick one. The definitions of each event are on page 5 of this form. I'll go through these quickly. You can skip ahead using the chapters if you want. Marriage seems easy enough. You entered into a legal marriage. Divorce or annulment, also straightforward. Your legal marriage ended and you will not be filing taxes jointly. Death of your spouse, work stoppage or reduction. Let's take a moment here because this is by far the most common reason that we see with our clients. They retired and their income in retirement is not where it was 2 years ago before they retired. So if you or your spouse stopped working or reduced the hours that you work, you would mark this reason. Loss of income producing property is next. This does not mean that you own real estate and then you sell it. That sale will show up in 2 years and likely bump you into an IRMAA category. So be aware when selling a property. This has happened with my dad, who has been in real estate my whole life. He has sold 2 properties while on Medicare, and when he sells, he sets aside money for 2 years from that sale to deal with the increased Part B premiums. So this reason is not for the sale of a property. This reason is if you lose a property that was not at your discretion. A presidentially or gubernatorially declared disaster area, destruction of livestock because of a natural disaster or disease, loss of property due to arson, or loss of investment due to fraud or theft. Okay, 2 more reasons left. Loss of pension income. This would be if you or your spouse's employer pension plan changed or went away. And finally, an employer settlement payment. You or your spouse received a settlement from an employer or former employer because of a bankruptcy or reorganization of that company. So just pick one and put in the date that this happened. Again, the most common is work stoppage, so put the date that you stopped working. The next part is where you will put in the year that you experienced the reduction of income. You would put in your adjusted gross income from line 11 of the IRS Form 1040, and then put in any tax-exempt interest income. This would be from municipal bonds if you have participated in those and can be found on the line 2A of the IRS Form 1040. If this is all happening this year, for example, you retired in March and you're dealing with IRMAA for the rest of this year, then you would need to submit your estimated adjusted gross income for the year. You can work with an accountant to help best estimate this number. Know that you will have to submit proof via your tax return when you do file. Pick the tax status for that year when your income was reduced. Okay, step 3 is now the next year, after the year that you just put into step 2. If your income will be lower the year following the year that you saw the reduction in income, mark the yes box and fill out step number 3. If it will not be lower, mark the no box and skip to step 4. For those who marked yes, you're going to estimate your income for the next year. Put the estimated amount and mark your anticipated tax filing status. Again, you're going to want to make this as accurate as possible. They will verify this. Now in the instructions, the reasons for completing this step is so that next year they can use this information to adjust your IRMAA if needed. In our experience with those submitting this form in the year that they had their income reduced, they will need to resubmit this this form again next year because that 2-year look back is now looking at the income from 1 year before they retired and will be higher again than the current income. So you may need to submit this form again next year. Step 4 is where you need to provide evidence of the life-changing event. Page 6 has what you can use as evidence. Since work stoppage is the most common we see, I'll just go over that, but know that each reason has appropriate evidence that you'll need to provide. So for work stoppage, you can use an original signed statement from your employer. You can use copies of pay stubs. You can use original or certified documents of the transfer of your business. If you don't have any of these, you can submit a signed statement under penalty of perjury. So again, if this has happened to you, submit this form. If you're trying to game the system, well, perjury is not recommended. Okay, the last section is where you will sign, put your phone number and your current mailing address. You may be contacted with questions, so put a good number and address to reach you. Once this is all done, you are ready to submit. Again, you can fax this to your local Social Security office. I have a link in the description of this video that will help you find a local office and its fax number. Look, faxing isn't super common these days, but you will at least get a delivery confirmation. Your other option is to mail it into the Social Security office. I mentioned this all the way back at the beginning, but if you want to schedule an appointment with the Social Security representative, you can do all of this in person as well. Please do not just walk into your local Social Security office. You will want to schedule an appointment. If you were paying higher premiums for a few months before submitting this, you should see a refund of the overpayments. I can't guarantee that, but that is what the publication put out by the Social Security Administration says here. You can get a link to this in the description of the video as well. All right, that wraps up this form. This is the part of the video where I'm supposed to ask you to like and subscribe. You're an adult. You can make that decision for yourself. If you have questions about other Medicare related forms, we have other videos on this channel as well as our website 90daysfromretirement.com, and I will see you in the next video.